This movie is currently being shown in the cinemas and you have to book your tickets. I was gifted some tickets by my friend Halim, and me and the girls went to watch Palestine 36 last night, and I am still processing what I've seen, and I'm telling you, I'm imploring you to go and watch this movie. So the reason it's called Palestine 36 is because it is set in 1936. In 1936, the British still ruled over Palestine. They were the occupiers of Palestine at that time. And the movie looks at what happens between the British rule and the encroaching Zionists, and how they're coming, taking over jobs, taking over land. And it really, really focuses on the role of the British, how the British were, what they did. I need to tell you that that movie triggered me as a South Asian on levels that I didn't even know could be triggered. By the time the movie was finished, we sat there in stunned silence. Some people were crying. After I processed my tears and my stunned silence, I think I swore nonstop for 5 minutes and kicked a chair. That's how triggering this movie was for me. So let me explain. I don't want to ruin the story for you, but I want to explain why it was so triggering. In 1936, the British were still occupying what I call British India. They were still subjecting us to theft of resources and land. They were still subjecting us to beatings, torture, rapes, arrests, and murders. And when I watched the British characters in this movie and how they treated the Palestinians and the way they wanted to partition the land, even the fact that they brought a character, a soldier that had been, not a soldier, like a, what do you call them, the high up commanders, who had been in India, but now he's in Palestine, recommending how they should do the same kind of thing. The same way when you look at films or documentaries or footage that shows British soldiers in India, and they're like speaking our language to make orders at us. They're like, jaldi, jaldi. But in this film, they're like, yalla, yalla. Triggered on all different levels. I always say that one of the many reasons I fight so hard for the oppressed is because my people were colonized for 200 years. The British did that to us. And watching Palestine 36 just felt like a parallel world. They were doing it to us at the same time. When they partitioned British India, do you know how many million people died in that displacement? And then they decided they could do the same thing in Palestine. Just give away the land. Just partition the people. And there's one character when it all goes wrong and he says, I quit Palestine. Just reminds me of the British. They just messed it all up and then they were like, let me just walk away. I feel like this was the whole aim of the movie, to remind you who started this, who carved up the land, who gave the rights to the Zionists, who gave the land to the Zionists, who treated Palestinian land as if it was their own. I really believe that they wanted to remind you of that, and they did. They successfully did that. And for those of us that have suffered British colonization, this is why it was such an emotionally triggering film. I don't think you understand. There's so much that I want to talk to you about in this movie. The characters, the British, the mutinies, the treatment of the press, the roles of men, women. Oh my God, so much. The rural farmers versus what's happening in the cities, those that sold us out and collaborated, the coconuts. So many levels, but I don't want to spoil the movie for you. So maybe I'll come back in the future and discuss the parallels of British occupation and what it ends up causing, not just in Palestine, not just in South Asia. We've seen it in the Middle East. We've seen it in Africa. I will come back and talk about that at a later date. But for now, I'm highly recommending that you watch this movie. And again, thank you, Halim, for the tickets. Thank you for making sure that not just myself and my friends, but many other people in the movement were able to bear witness to this film. So thank you for always being a good friend and supporting us and looking out for us.